Spiritual Teaching 124. Love each other. 1. People of Israel, heir to my word. I am preparing you to be the consolation of humanity. Look for the poor in spirit, the sick, the weary and needy in body and spirit, and give them this spiritual bread, which is strength and health. 2. In this time of complacency I want to pour out my spirit in you, so that tomorrow you can give testimony of me and say that I manifested myself as teacher, as father and as judge, so that my children can find me in the form that they want to look for me, because all loves are in my spirit. 3. Elijah, who is the forerunner, takes the lost sheep to present them to me. 3. Elijah, who is the forerunner, takes the lost sheep to present them to me. His fighting spirit inspires you, so that you speak with perfection and you help him in his blessed mission to rescue the spirits from the confusion that reigns in this time. 4. Only to you, people, has this knowledge, the great mission of Elijah, his attributes and perfection being revealed. He will guide humanity and will bring you before my presence. But I also say to you, do not forget Mary, welcome her, who is warmth and divine sweetness. All perfections and beauties have been eternally in her spirit, and I have entrusted to humanity like a daughter for whom she has always watched over. Rise up to her in your tribulations, feel her peace and her love. The eyes that are prepared to look from the earth to the spiritual valleys, they see it descend from perfection to your world, full of grace, and hearts sensitized by my word feel her presence. 5. All these goods are owned by you. The evidence becomes palpable so that you do not doubt for a moment. Your spirit feels that so much is the grace he has received, that I would like the whole world to hear my word and every spirit to be enlightened. And I tell you, you can work for humanity. For this I have given you great gifts. The brightness of my wisdom is enlightening all men. My justice of love is calling the spirit of all beings. 6. Humanity wonders why so many calamities, why sin increases and there is no human hand that can stop it. So they think that only a higher force, that only God can help humanity to return to balance and reason. 7. You, my disciples, will give them the answer. Let them know my doctrine of love that can give back to all those creatures peace and offer them a new horizon, a new life, by complying with my laws. 8. Form within your family a world of peace and understanding. Live and develop in it. Make your works speak of me. You will teach when the time has come when you to find yourselves ready, and you will say to those who hear you, how much peace you have found in loving your brothers, how sweet it is to love your God, and in you I will manifest all your experience. 9. Your mission, Israel, is to serve your brothers. Who of you is willing to carry a message of peace to other nations? Those who are to receive the good news are already indicated. The pain they have been through has come to you, and your prayer full of fervor has alleviated many hardships and brought peace and hope. In those nations, precursors who speak of spirituality have arisen by my will, preparing hearts for the advent of my word which they still do not know, in all nations. If all humanity listened to me, it could feed itself with just one of my lessons, because in them I pour out my essence, and my presence is real in all my manifestations. 10. I have come to fill the emptiness of your heart with my love. I have awakened in you great spiritual ideals that feed you, and your faith has won. The trials that once burdened your heart today seem small, and you are satisfied and happy because you have found me. 11. Humanity judges you and puts its hope in you, and even when it doubts, the Spirit intimately recognizes that you are my chosen ones. Your charge is great. That is why you must always pray and watch, to be alert as one of my disciples, where I have placed you. 12. I am speaking to the disciples of the third era, whom I am teaching to seek the essence contained in this word, since whoever finds its meaning will be able to know the divine language. Love and truth can't find human terms that can express them in all their purity. Then you have to look for them in a language that is far beyond the human word. You are the disciples who begin to understand what true love is. Do not stop judging if a certain word was pronounced well or badly by the spokesman. That these superficial trifles, those mistakes of those who are clumsy and humble. I have come from the kingdom of love and charity to a world where love is something strange. And I begin my teaching by a people ignored, simple and almost lost in the multitudes. And that the people have listened to me, and even more, they have believed me. 13. If my word had been given to all nations, the majority would have rejected it, because vanity, materialism, and the false greatness of men, they would not have accepted a doctrine that speaks of spirituality, of humility and fraternity. The world is not yet ready to understand love. Therefore, not everyone would have been sensitive to my presence in this form. 14. Just as Christ at that time sought the hollow of the rock to be born as a man, today I found this corner of the earth willing to hear me, which is similar to the grotto and the manger, which received the Son of God on that blessed night. 15. Here I will prepare you in silence. Then the day will come when you will have to leave to prepare the road so that my word reaches all hearts. By then the world will be purifying through pain, and it will no longer seem that my word is a strange language, but something that your heart and spirit can easily understand and feel. I am delivering the book that speaks of truth and love so that you can take it to all humanity. 16. There is no people on earth to which I can tell you not to go because they do not need this revelation. What people can say that they are truly Christian, not only in name, but because of their love, their charity, and their repentance. What nation can demonstrate its spirituality? Where in the world do you love each other? Where do men truly fulfill the teachings of Christ? 17. Truly I tell you, you have my law written in books, sometimes in your mind, but I do not find its fulfillment in your life. Don't tell me this is not true, because that is why I have tested you. And when the time has come to forgive, you have not been able to forgive the wrong and change. You have avenged them. When the needy hand has knocked on your door, you have not known how to give charity. And when it has been necessary to sacrifice to save someone, before you have sacrificed for your brother, you save your life and the goods you have. That is why I tell you that humanity keeps my word only in dusty books. 18. If my word seems very humble to you, I say to you again, that is only the external expression. Go beyond every human term, and you will hear in infinity my Father's voice speaking a heavenly language that will not be strange, but familiar to your spirit, as he sprang from God. 19. Do you realize the mission and the responsibility that you are contracting? 20. My teaching does not seem strange to anyone, nor is his cross heavy, because truly I tell you, the life that you carry in this world is more difficult and heavy. My cross of love is the sweetest of yokes. 21. Remember that through 3 ages of spiritual evolution your spirit has followed me, and you have not yet reached the end of a road. You have voluntarily followed me, because I have never forced anyone to do so. 22. When your confession arose from the depths of your being in which you told me, Master, you are my Lord, it was the voice of your faith that spoke, and from that moment of inner enlightenment, you come after my footprint, step by step, falling down sometimes and getting up again to follow me, how rejoicing the spirit that feels upon itself the weight of its cross of love. Only those who do not take it with love, when the last moment of their life arrives, will have to be dissatisfied and restless, and in his lack of preparation he will at times blaspheme before his Lord. imitating the thief who was my sinister crucified on Calvary. This terrestrial life is only a preparation, a step to get to true life. 23. My doctrine is the law that teaches you to live in harmony with the spiritual and with nature. Despite the light that shines in your mind pointing out the correct and just path, sometimes you cry, and it is because sometimes you stray from the law, and then your consciousness judges you and sanctions you. When you defy nature by breaking her laws, it is your turn for justice. However, you would be unfair if you said that he has exercised revenge, because I am in nature as I am in everything. If you insist on throwing yourself into an abyss, how can you avoid the pain of the fall? 24. Feel how you are spiritually crossing an immense desert, beyond which there is a mansion of peace, of perfection and light, which has been promised to your spirit. Behold the distant and sinful city behind you, how far it is. Today you are free from chains, because at last you were freed from the slavery of the passions. Idols which before you bowed, stayed far away, insensitive and inert. Later they will be thrown from their pedestals, by others that will come after your steps. But if your enemies pursued you, a saving sea would stand in their way, so that you can arrive safely at the end of your journey. 25. Who would try to return? Ahead, on the horizon, the light of hope shines. Behind is the darkness of the disillusion. 26. Go ahead, people. The desert is arid, yet manna descends on you and water gushes from its rocks. Watch and pray, because even in the desert itself temptations will follow you. Woe to him who does not watch or pray. Oh, the one who is weak in your purposes of regeneration. 27. As soldiers you will cross immense distances in loneliness. I have already made known your weapons. The battle will arise and you will measure your forces with those who try to stop you or destroy you. How will you survive in that battle? Not losing faith, going through darkness and confusion without your light going out, reaching the end of the desert with your heart free of grievances, resentments or hatred, loving and forgiving your enemies. You will see then that your spirit was magnified in the fight, because she forced him not to stop, not to retreat, making use of all her known powers and faculties and to seek in herself unknown or dormant gifts. 28. Be humble before your Lord, and you will be great in spirit. Do not weaken before the temptations of the world and the flesh. Men will tell you that while Christ makes you last and humble, they will make you first and great on earth, but do not believe them. 29. I also know how to give crowns, thrones and scepters in the world, like David and Solomon, when they have known how to recognize their Lord. And I have touched them with my justice when they have betrayed me, letting themselves disinherit the gift of power, inspiration and wisdom. 30. Today I do not come to offer you kingdoms of this world. Rather, I have been stripping you of earthly possessions, so that you follow me with more freedom. The kingdom that I have been offering you is beyond human. Whoever reaches that kingdom will not come out of it again. 31. Look to the monarchs and lords of the earth, how brief is their glory and their reign. Today they are raised by their peoples, and tomorrow they are brought down from their seats. No one seeks his throne in this life, because believing he is advancing, he will stop his step, and your destiny is to walk without stopping until you reach the gates of my kingdom. 32. If at the end of 1950 you are going to stop listening to my word, you will not stop being my disciples, because my inspiration will continue to reach your spirit and your understanding, to make you understand everything that, in my word, you have received. 33. The last part of the book is still missing, the 7th chapter, which is still sealed. When this seal is opened, you will receive from spirit to spirit the last lesson. 34. My justice wisely moves humanity closer to the great revelation. Life, like a teacher, He teaches and corrects without ceasing. The tests make his spiritual voice reach through the consciousness. 35. For the world to be able to communicate from spirit to spirit with me, beforehand I had to approach you in this form and prepare for the step that men will take on the path of their evolution. My word poured out at this time through the spokesman will serve to save you from stumbling, from doubts or confusion on your way. In it you will find the clarity of my teaching. 36. I charge you, people, to announce to the world my promise to communicate spirit to spirit with men. I want you to also transmit this light to your children, so that they illuminate their path with the light of this hope. 37. If you sleep, if you forget to watch and pray, when my promise is fulfilled and my spirit calls you, the confusion and doubt will return to you once again, which men have always had when I return to them, because they have not known how to wait. 38. I want that from the moment I make my word stop, you surrender to the study of it and the exercise of spiritual development that gives you the necessary development to communicate directly with my spirit. In that inner, intimate, spiritual development, you will obtain the most beautiful fruits of inspiration, revelation, clairvoyance, and strength. Then will this people be one step away from seeing my promise fulfilled. When the last seal is unleashed and reveals its content to the world. 39. Do not try to replace my manifestation, when you no longer have it, with false imitations or with outward forms, because you will sink into lethargy, into routine, and you will not be able to hear my divine voice when she comes to enlighten your spirit. 40. I do not want it to be a vague intuition that makes men wait for my presence in spirit. I want that it be with certainty, the full conviction that in this way my kingdom will come closer to men. 41. In that second era I announced my return, but it was not in a vague way, but clearly. However, the peoples got tired of waiting and ended up forgetting my promise. 42. I made appear all the signs that should announce my return, and they also went unnoticed by men, because they were spiritually asleep, given to the world and stationed in their religions. 43. I don't want you to get confused now. Hear my word that tells you how I will communicate with men, from spirit to spirit. 44. Remove all materialism from your heart, so that you await that communication in the highest form that you can conceive, and thus you will not suffer disappointment or confusion in the face of reality. 45. When the Messiah was promised to Israel in the first era, the people waited for him as a mighty king of the earth. That's why when she had him in front of her eyes, she didn't recognize him. 46. While I was in the world, I announced my return to men, and I gave them to understand that it would be spiritually. However, now that I have sent my beam to you, making a word in the minds of my spokesmen, many have denied, because they had forgotten that I would return, or because they think that when I return to the world, it would be in the same way that I came at that time, that is, as a man. 47. I now speak to you about this so that you prepare your brothers and your children, so that they may watch. And when the time comes and the divine voice seeks you out to make you heard, men and peoples will find themselves praying, because their joy will be infinite, and the revelations they will receive will be incomparable. 48. This time will be worthwhile, people. The patriarchs have already given you life and examples. The prophets have already announced my coming. You already had Christ, who gave everything for your redemption, and later the apostles and those who were sent brought you light. 49. Now it is your turn to take up the cross that you previously left to others. Now you must live your own passion, so that you achieve the highest dignity of your spirit. Your mission is to spread light and peace among your brothers like a fruitful and life-giving dew. Do not lie down to sleep. Do you want the wars unleashed in the east to also invade the west? Do you want to see your soil stained with the blood of your parents, children or husbands, and women taking the tools of work to make daily bread? Do you expect to see how the roads turn into streets of bitterness? 50. Recognize that while humanity suffers and bleeds, you must not remain indifferent. You must carry in your heart the pain of your fellow men. Send your prayers and thoughts as a continuous message of love and peace, asking for charity for your brothers who suffer. 51. I contemplate that you do want peace, people, but you don't fight for it. You want me to forgive you, but without first having forgiven each other. I am teaching you to love each other even though you do not know each other, and to feel the pain of your brother, even if you don't look at him because he's distant. You are not alone in your struggle. I am with you, I, who came in this time on the cloud to give you help and love in the desert that you cross. 52. I prepared everything in this corner of the earth so that you could fulfill your mission. A new land that flowed milk and honey, a very pure sky, a virgin land, fertile and lavish, full of wonders and beauties. Everything was ready so that your struggle and your earthly tasks will not overwhelm you and will leave time and strength to your spirit, so that you would remember your heavenly Father, being useful and loving your fellow men. But if you did not know how to pray to reach your spiritual elevation, you did not watch over what in the world you possessed, and behold, walking in your lands, you felt strangers, and contemplating your inheritance, you had no right to it. Now you have to comply with your spiritual destiny, although many times you carry bitterness and even misery in your spirit. That's why in my word I clothe you with strength so that you do not lose heart in the fight and know that you can still see the time of justice. 53. If the fight is great, give each other warmth and encouragement. That is the unification that I ask of you. You know from me that on your way will rise those who are going to fight you. 1950 is approaching, and I tell you, blessed are those who take advantage of my word, because my farewell will not lacerate your heart. 54. No one is a prophet in his land. Yours have made you bleed and cry with their doubts and their taunts. Moreover, wait and thirst like Jesus. Be like the prophets or apostles who, instead of crying, rose up to other regions and other nations to preach the truth, where they were believed. 55. After 1950, those who go to other regions and also to other nations will rise from among you, where they will find greater understanding, and there their wounds will heal. 56. When my word has ceased, my prophecies will begin to be fulfilled one by one. Then the unbelievers, repentant, will believe. 57. Correctly interpret my word, fulfill my mandates, continue your work of regeneration, unite in truth, and I tell you that peace will be in this nation. You will recreate yourself with the abundance and of its good fruits, and it will be seen by foreigners as a beacon of light, as a bulwark of justice, and as an emporium of peace. 58. Remove from your gaze all superfluous illusions, all false deity. Clear your paths and pray for the peace of the nations. My peace be with you.